Picture this. You've been invited to a dinner party and you're standing in the wine aisle trying to pick something to bring. There's a $14 bottle of Chianti right next to a $68 Super Tuscan. Same region, same grape, wildly different price tags. You read the back label on the expensive one, something about sun-kissed vineyards, old family traditions, hand-harvested grapes. Before you've really thought it through, that's the one going in your cart. At dinner, you pour it proudly. But the table's raving about a completely different bottle, the one your friend Jake grabbed for 14 bucks on his way over. Someone asks what yours was. You say the name. Nobody remembers it 30 seconds later. Here's the uncomfortable part. That's not just bad luck. There's a real experiment, run with real people hooked up to real brain scanners, and the results suggest something a little unsettling. Your brain might be tasting the price tag, not the wine. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why expensive wine feels better even when it isn't, and how to actually pick a good bottle without needing the label to convince you first. The brain scan study. So what actually happens in your brain when you think you're drinking something expensive? Researchers at Caltech and Stanford gave people wine samples labeled with different prices, $5, $10, $35, $45, and $90 a bottle while scanning their brains. Here's the twist. Some of those different wines were actually the exact same bottle, just wearing a different price tag. When people thought they were drinking the $90 version, the pleasure center of their brain lit up more than when they thought they were drinking the same wine at $5. Same liquid, more perceived price, more brain activity. In a follow-up round with no prices shown at all, the same people rated the cheapest wine as their favorite. Does this hold up at scale? That's 20 people in a lab, though. Does it hold up in the real world? It does, at a bigger scale than you'd expect. Economists went through more than 6,000 blind wine tastings looking for any real relationship between price and how much everyday drinkers actually enjoyed a wine. What they found was basically no positive correlation, if anything. It leaned slightly negative, meaning non-experts, on average, enjoyed the pricier wines a touch less. Trained experts showed a small positive link. Their tasting for structure, most of us were never trained to notice. But for the average person at a dinner party, price told you almost nothing about how much you'd actually enjoy the glass in front of you. The Judgment of Paris. Here's a story that shook up the entire wine world, decades before any of these lab studies. In 1976, a group of top French wine experts sat down for a blind tasting. French wines against California wines, an event that became known as the Judgment of Paris. These were judges who'd built their careers on French wine being the gold standard. The California wines won. Not did surprisingly well. Won. Still considered one of the most humbling moments in wine history, and a big part of why California wine became a serious global player instead of a punchline. The Texas experiment. Not a one-time fluke either. For 6 years, researchers at Texas A&M took the exact same Texas wine and served it to tasters labeled 3 different ways: France, California, and Texas. The bottle labeled France won almost every time. Same wine, different flag, different verdict at the table. So this isn't one weird study, it's the same pattern, showing up again and again across labs, decades, and continents. Wait, so why does expensive wine exist at all? If price barely predicts enjoyment, why does expensive wine exist, and is any of it worth it? Yes, some of it genuinely is, just not in the way you'd think. Experts generally agree real, noticeable quality improvements happen up to around $20 to $35 a bottle. Better vineyard sites, more careful winemaking, sometimes proper oak aging. Past that, the curve flattens fast. A $50 bottle isn't 5 times better than a $10 one. Past $50, $60, you're increasingly paying for scarcity and a good story on the label, not a proportionally better glass of wine. Quick wine types. Primer. Since we're talking value, it's worth knowing what you're actually looking at on the shelf, because the grape and category matter more than the price sticker. Red wine gets its color and structure from fermenting with the grape skin still in the mix. That's also where the tannins come from. Chianti, made mostly from Sangiovese grapes, is naturally food-friendly, a little tart and earthy, genuinely one of the better value categories out there. Cabernet Sauvignon is the bold, structured heavyweight, dark fruit, tobacco, firm tannins, your steak wine. Merlot is Cabernet's softer cousin, plum and cherry with a rounder finish. Pinot Noir goes the opposite direction, light-bodied and silky, Fantastic with salmon or roast chicken, not just red meat. Malbec, mostly from Argentina, is rich and fruit-forward, great with anything off the grill. Syrah or Shiraz in Australia brings dark fruit, black pepper, and a smoky edge, built for barbecue. Reds pair beautifully with red meat, tomato sauce pasta, and aged cheeses. The tannins cut through fat and richness. It's my all-time favorite category, though the last grape on that list is my personal favorite. White wine skips the skin contact, lighter, crisper, higher acidity. Sauvignon Blanc, citrus, and fresh-cut grass is forgiving even at a low price point. Pinot Grigio is lighter and more neutral, a safe, crowd-pleasing pick when you don't know everyone's taste. Whites go with seafood, poultry, and salads. Rosé is made from red grapes with brief skin contact, just enough for color without heavy tannins. Light and refreshing with a little more fruit character than white. Great with charcuterie or a hot summer afternoon. Sparkling wine covers anything with bubbles. Champagne from France, Prosecco from Italy, Cava from Spain. Cava's made the same traditional way as champagne, just from a region where land costs less. Genuine quality for a fraction of the price. Shockingly food flexible, oysters, sushi, fried chicken, somehow all of it works. Dessert wine is sweeter, meant to be sipped alongside dessert. Moscato and late harvest Riesling are common. Pairs with fruit tarts, tiramisu, even blue cheese. Fortified wine gets a shot of brandy added, boosting alcohol and richness. Port is the classic dark fruit, chocolate, sometimes aged for decades. Pour it small, it's strong. And mulled wine, a red wine simmered with cinnamon, clove, star anise, citrus, and a little sugar. This is genuinely the one time you should grab the cheapest bottle. All that simmering masks whatever subtle character makes a nicer bottle worth the money. It was my absolute favorite during my time in the UK, especially around Christmas. None of these need a triple-digit price tag to taste genuinely good, they're just well-suited to being made affordably in the first place. How to actually pick a good bottle. Back to that wine aisle. Here's what you should actually be doing instead of grabbing the fanciest label. First, aim for the $10 to $20 range, the real sweet spot where quality to price ratio is strongest. Second, look at the region, not just the price. Lesser-known regions, southern Italy, Portugal, Chile, parts of Spain, often deliver serious quality for less, since land and labor cost less there. Italy-obsessed me would nudge you towards southern Italian wines, but it's really up to your taste. Third, check the vintage. For everyday whites and rosés especially, you want the most recent year or one back. These wines aren't built to age, an old bottle of something meant to be drunk. Young isn't a bargain, it's just tired wine. And fourth, don't be afraid to just ask. A wine shop employee or a knowledgeable server would rather point you towards something great at your budget than upsell you into something you won't actually enjoy more. So the next time you're in that aisle, remember, that $68 bottle with the sun-kissed vineyard story isn't cheating, but it's not guaranteed to taste better than the $14 bottle sitting right next to it. Your friends at dinner definitely couldn't tell the difference. Chances are, blind, you couldn't either. Have you ever brought the nice bottle to a party and had everyone rave about something cheaper instead? Tell me what happened. I'm genuinely interested in knowing. And if you're more of a whiskey person than a wine person, my next video is exactly for you. Subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when it drops next week.